My mother and I didn't get along, ever. She was a practical and competent conformist. I was an artistic and defiant dreamer. My curly hair was annoying to her. She had learned to dislike herself at a young age, and she taught me the same. I wondered what it would be like to look after her when she got old. I didn't want to visit my mother when she entered nursing home care at age 94. I wanted to pretend she was A-okay there. But I saw it was frightening and sad for her. I came to realize I couldn't just leave her there. I had to learn to love her. Reluctantly, I made my way to see her regularly. I was always uneasy. I didn't know what to expect, how to act, what to say, or what to do. But I wasn't alone. There were other people like me there too, and the care workers. Many of them were younger than I was. I wondered how they could relate to these elderly people. I asked one of them.
I didn't really plan on working with seniors. It was like the last population that I planned on working with. I was a bit scared of the elderly and how to interact with them. I didn't think we communicated in the same way. My generation all grew up with cell phones in our hands, and their form of communication is just so much more old-fashioned and so different than ours. I didn't know if I was going to be able to communicate effectively with them. So one stigma that I had about the elderly was that they simply didn't have as much fun as young people do. But working with them, I quickly discovered that they definitely have as much fun, if not more at times, as younger people. Last night, a group of Scottish men came in kilts and everything, to play music for them. And the whole front row stood up and danced like that they were at a concert or something like that. So that was really amazing. And it actually reminded me of teenagers, like at a concert or something. They were so excited and so enthused, and it was just an amazing thing to see.
After hearing the story of the dance, I began to think in a new way about my mother. I wondered if I could adopt a new attitude on my visits. If only I could awaken something in my mum that would make her less lonely. I started to recall Mum's interests, her habits, her conversations, and I catered to them. To pay so much attention was exhausting, but with no other family there, it was important and worth it. To my surprise, I gradually grew fonder of Mum and who she was at heart. She began to break out in a grin whenever she saw me walk down the hall. This was a far cry from the critical look up and down or remark about my unruly hair that I was used to from her. As I paid more attention to my mother, I too discovered more about the elderly. Once I slowed down, Mum's fellow residents began to show me who they were too. I learned their names and something about them so we could converse regularly. I began sketching the residents. One of my favorites was Suzanne. She was a solo Greek chorus of positive validation who spoke often of her late husband. Everyone there had lived a full life. They each had their own story. It was fascinating to listen to them.
I was born in Louisburg. From there, I ended up in Sydney. From Sydney, I ended up in Ontario. From Ontario, I ended up in Quebec.
When I was a young engineer, the computer wasn't known. When the computer came, I became very interested.
No, the States always impressed me. I don't know why, but maybe it was the Golden Corral. They have all you can eat, buffets, everything.
Well, I tackled life, really with complete energy. The kids, there's 4 of them, and I'm very proud of it.
I had my ups and I had my downs. When you look at it all, and I made the worst and the best of it.
After a year and a half of visiting Mum, I began to really see everyone there in a new light. I could see how the executive director worked hard to keep it all together with very little money. The staff worked hard too. They were all just people. Sometimes they would share their feelings with me.
Working here has just taught me to be reflective, and it makes me think about the future and think about myself a lot. It's a very positive thing. I think it's taught me to cherish my life, and I'm really thankful for it.
The people is the best part of it, really good. The people is generous, they are patient, and they do their work in good cheer.
Very good here, they're very good. They're always on the ball and they always want to do something.
The more I visited Mum, the stronger and more loving she became. When Mum was dying, I told her many times I loved her. Finally, she replied, halting with pain, "I know you love me. I don't know why you do, but it's wonderful." Visiting my mum in the nursing home has changed my life. I now see older people and their caregivers in a new light. It's been said, old age is not for sissies. It takes bravery to grow very old and endure all that comes with it. And the people who care for them know that well. They too make the best of caring for people during the last act, an age that is not well understood, well supported, or often seen, avoided even. I am grateful to all the heroes who live and work in nursing homes. I am grateful to my mother.